Steven Gerrard's been sacked as manager of Aston Villa, which is fantastic news for me. It's terrible news for the Aston Villa fans who now have to witness me managing the club on Football Manager. So here we have it then, it's official. Gerrard has left the building. Enter the era of Jameson. We're very much looking forward to this. As we say, this is the FM23 beta, so we'll do a little bit of a let's play. We'll see how we get on at the club. As you can see, I put pen to paper here on a 2-year contract worth £43,500 a week. 2 years. Given my time at Arsenal, might be slightly optimistic, but we will see. This is what we're looking at in terms of the actual club itself. 3.5-star reputation. We're predicted to finish 13th. We have actually got £30 million in the transfer budget. That's more than I was expecting, to be honest. I wasn't expecting too much, but 30 million quid's pretty decent. £2.2 million wage budget as well. Stadium's just shy of 43,000. Obviously, we've got state-of-the-art facilities in terms of training at Bodymore Heath, superb youth facilities, and excellent youth recruitment. So I'm guessing we're going to kind of been using that a lot to our advantage. We are, of course, also a former European Cup winner. We've won the top division 7 times, although not since 1981. That was the last time we've done that. There's also here a Super Cup in 82. We've won the FA Cup 7 times. We've won 2 championships. We've won 5 League Cups. We've won League One and Community Shield as well. So quite a haul, to be honest. A pretty decent trophy cabinet that hopefully we can add to. This is, of course, what the squad looks like now. Interesting how they're set up there with a 3 at the back, 5 at the back, depending on how you look at it. 5-3-2, I suppose, really. Emi Martinez in goal, of course. Diego Carlos at centre-half. That's going to be a bit difficult because I think he's out for most of the season, to be honest. Bednarek in there as well. Tyrone Mings, Luca Digne, Matty Cash, John McGinn, marvellous Nakamba, probably the greatest named footballer of all time. Dendonka's in there as well. And up top, we've got a partnership there of Danny Ings and Ollie Watkins. Objectives for the club, the board culture, play entertaining football. We can try, you know. I'm not promising anything at this point. Do not sign players under the age of 28. We've obviously preferred to sign players under the age of 23. Sell players for a profit, obviously, although there are a couple of players that we'll get to that I'm sure we'll struggle to do that with. Work within the wage budget, and then of course this year is the expectations for the end of this season. Qualify for the Europa League. That sounds like pressure to me, to be honest. Be competitive in the FA Cup and also be competitive in the Carabao Cup. The fans are expecting us to finish in the top half of the table, so that's fine. I'll take that. I prefer the fans' vision rather than the boards, to be honest. They also want us to get the better of Birmingham City if we play them, and West Brom. That's not going to happen this season, but they'd like us to try and finish above Wolves in the league, and they do also still want us to play attacking, entertaining football. Let's have a quick little look at the squad itself, show you what we're working with. So some of you may be familiar with these sorts of players. There are familiar names in there, of course. Martinez, Mings, Ashley Young, John McGinn, Buendia, Coutinho. We will have a look at a few players that I think are going to be definite starters. So obviously Emi Martinez, of course, is going to be our first choice goalkeeper. He's probably, he is definitely the only world-class player we actually have at the club. So we're going to build the club around Emi Martinez, so build from the back. Also, of course, we do like Tyrone Mings as well, 6'5", heading of 16, jumping of 15, bravery of 16, leadership of 17. No idea why I had the captain's armband taken off him by the previous manager, but that's a discussion for another day. Left-footed centre-back as well, so can play as a wide centre-back if needs be. We've also got Matty Cash, Polish international, of course. Matty Cash can play fullback, can also play wingback if needs be as well. Look at this. This is a nice little attribute here. 17 for long throws, plus 16 for teamwork and 16 for work rate as well. Plus he gets about 14 for acceleration and very good anticipation, 15. Although aggression, 15. I know it's not going to necessarily mean he's going to get booked all the time, and it might mean that he's going to battle for the ball, but could also mean that he's going to get booked all the time. We've also got Ezri Konza, who's a reasonable enough centre-back, to be honest, who's 24 years old. He'll do a job for now. There is, of course, also players like Jan Bednarek in on loan. 6'2", again, reasonable player, very brave, very fit, good stamina. That's sort of what we need. High work rate as well. Here's Diego Carlos, of course, the Brazilian defender. Massive signing in the summer in real life. out for the entire season though with Achilles tendon injury, so we are going to miss him. So we've possibly got a gap at centre half. The fact that our best centre half is out for the entire year is not a good start to the season. Left back, of course, we've got Luca Digne. He's come in as well, French international. He will, of course, get forward. They're saying full back. It's probably more of a complete wing back is probably how we're going to use him, to be honest. Really good free kick taking, really good corners and crossing. Yeah, I think Luca Digne is going to be a creative player for us. We're going to be looking to use him a lot, I think. A creative player that I'm probably not going to be using a lot, now this is going to probably upset quite a few people, is Philippe Coutinho. Now, not a fan, I'll be honest. Okay, I know people are going to say, how are you not a fan of Philippe Coutinho? Well, this, to be honest, 125 grand a week. He's not really got much of a resale value. He's 30 years old. The club has said 50 million quid. I think we'll be looking to get 50 million quid for him if we tried to sell him. I don't know where he fits in my system, to be honest. In my head, I'm thinking 4-4-2. I'm thinking 3-5-2. I don't really know. I'm not convinced I can see Coutinho being the major player that Steven Gerrard clearly thought he was. Plus, if there is a chance of cashing in, I think we do it. For me, he's a square peg in a round hole. I think we're definitely going to try and retain the service of Douglas Luiz, though. He is now a Brazilian international, ball-winning midfielder, defensive midfielder. He's going to be part of my midfield pairing, I think, with John McGinn, who we're going to look at in a second. He does the business. He almost left in real life, but thankfully they've managed to keep him. But the issue, of course, is here. He is out of contract at the end of the season. And here is the new club captain, courtesy of Steven Gerrard. My man, John McGinn, meatball himself. He's going to be getting up and down. He's that ball-winning box-to-box midfielder that we like. He drives forward a lot. He's very determined. He's great teamwork. His work rate is exceptional. He's a decent on the pass. He's got decent enough vision as well. He's really, really fit and athletic. So he is going to be a key player in that midfield. And like I say, that partnership with him and Douglas Luiz in central midfield is going to be key. And then we're going to look for creative outlets. So possibly players like Jacob Ramsey might be a creative outlet. We might play him as an advanced midfielder, sort of central midfielder on attack, or possibly even an advanced playmaker. Maybe a Mazzala. We can play him just behind the two forwards if we like as well. Maybe the top of a diamond, because we are lacking a bit of width, which again you'll see in a second. Again, a player who sort of burst on the scene last year. Good dribbling, decent finishing, reasonably quick. Can we push him on? He's still only 21, so there's a bit of potential there. So he could be, as I say, one of those creative players that we look to. You've also then got players like Leon Bailey, who's probably our only naturally wide player. Really quick, reasonable crossing, in fact decent crossing, I'll be honest with you. 14's decent for crossing, dribbling 15 as well, flair 17, but look at that, strength only 9, so he's not going to put his foot in, is he? But yeah, a decent enough player, and this is possibly an issue as well, only 8 for decision making, so he can cross, but he might pick the wrong option. Other creative outlet we've got as well as possibly Buendia. I like Buendia. Apparently he can play out wide on the right. He probably sits better as a 10, I'm guessing, really, just behind the strikers. Good dribbling, really good flair, determined as well, but excellent vision. Look at that, 16 for vision. A very agile, nimble player as well. He is probably the one that will be the one who sort of picks out the passes, I'm guessing. I don't understand why it's him or Coutinho, I think, to be honest, for the number 10 position. And I probably slightly favour Buendia. And then up top, we've got the two boys. We've got Ollie Watkins here, who again is not really a number 9 per se. He probably plays slightly more wider. He's probably better as part of a 3, if you're honest. Plays out as a pressing forward according to the game here, which I think is right. He will move into the channels and do some chasing down. Finishing at 15 is pretty good, to be honest. Acceleration as well for 15. Stamina, again, he is naturally fit and really, really high work rate. So he is going to run his socks off for the club, which is, of course, what we want. And decent off the ball as well, 14. But as always, this decision making here does let him down a little bit. Only 9 for decision making. So when he gets on those one-on-ones, is he going to finish? And composure as well would suggest that potentially he isn't. You're probably thinking, if there's a chance a shot drops to someone, who do you want in the box? You want Danny Ings, to be honest. 16 for finishing, 18 for determination. There's your composure right there. 14 for composure. I know he's 29. I know he's had injuries, but as a poacher or as like an advanced forward, Danny Ings is really good. A couple of players who may be going to be interesting to look at is going to be players like Boubacar Kamara, came on a free transfer in the summer. Again, we're seeing about Coutinho having a lot of wages spent on him. Look at this, 175 grand a week. And I don't know what we're getting in Football Manager, to be honest. He's a midfielder that has media description as centre-back. Your guess is as good as mine. Morgan Sampson is there as well. I don't know. Again, another player who's at the club who's not really made much of an impact. He's already listed before I've even got here, so that doesn't exactly say much about him. So potentially he might be leaving. If we can get 18 million for him, then we'll be laughing, but I can't see us getting that amount of money. And last but not least, the prodigal son has returned. Ashley Young, of course, has been back for a couple of seasons now, and we're delighted to have him back. 36 years old. Of course, he's a winger, but he can also play wing back as well. Having learnt that at Man United and Inter Milan, he's still got 16 for teamwork. He's still got 15 for crossing. He's still got 13 for acceleration. And this is a player who, as I say, is 36, going on 37. Ashley Young he's just a Villa legend, so we're going to be using him as much as we possibly can as well. Now, we've just had a quick look around the actual playing staff. I know it's our first day. Let's go and say hello to them. Now, these things tend to go badly. John McGinn's happy I'm here. Now, obviously, I'm not going to make any promises because this is too early. That's upset Buendia. We reckon we're going to qualify for the Europa League. They like that. Excellent. I think we managed to bluff our way through our first meeting with the players. I don't think I've upset anybody. Everyone's happy. Time for me to meet the media. Again, this never goes well, usually. What does it mean for you to be given this opportunity? I'm honoured. Do you have the wage budget to compete? Let's not talk about money. It'll be fine. What attracted you to Villa? I've got the shirt on, for God's sake. Of course I'm going to come here. Do you have any reservations about taking the club? Many. How much work do you think is going to need to be bringing the squad up to date? We need to lie to the media, tell them that it's fine. How do you go about the day-to-day work on the training ground? Give it to someone else. How do you improve the squad? I mean, centre-back, striker, midfield, everywhere but our goalkeeper, really. I think this is quite interesting, though, the experience matrix. So here, obviously, we've got no younger players, no developmental players coming through. A fair amount of emerging players, which is handy enough. But this is really interesting. Most of the squad is at their peak, and only one player's experienced. So the fact that most of them are at their peak suggests it's kind of do or die, really, for Villa. If we don't get it done this year or next year, a lot of these players are going to have to be looking to be moved out because there's a lot of 26, 27, 28, 29-year-olds in there. So, yeah, we might have to do some business and bring some younger players through, I think. We thought we were a bit light in midfield or lacking options in midfield, okay? So, Roberto Gagliardini at Inter Milan is available and is on the transfer list. £2.8 million could be a steal. Right, wages aren't too bad given that it's Premier League as well, 42 to 55 grand. I think that seems reasonable. Agents seem to think that's fine. I mean, look, if we can get him for less than 3 million quid, if you're comparing him maybe to someone like Frank Onyeka, who again we've sort of had a look at as well from Brentford, he's going to be nearly 15 million quid. Someone we might be able to get though, Moussa Barrow. Now, I like Moussa Barrow. Plays out wide, can play wide left, can play striker, can play AMC. Very quick indeed. Again, might not be too much money. Gambian international, 23 years old. Let's give him a scout. He's been good on FM22, so could be excited to see him. What are they saying? What's his agent reckoning? 5.5 to 8.5. Again, just shy of 50 grand a week. Inverted winger. For me, pace and less than £10 million. I think he could be an option, 23 years old as well. They want youngsters in the team. Moussa Barrow could be my man. Oh, he's in. We've got our boy, 6'5" striker, is going to make his mark at Aston Villa. He's going to play up there, up top with Danny Ings. We're going to have Ollie Watkins running off. £2.6 million, an absolute steal. This guy is going to be the business. I guarantee it. Look at that. B-. Everyone's happy. Oh, beautiful. 15 for finishing. 15 for jumping reach. Only 12 for heading, mind. 15 for flair. 14 for off the ball. Comes deep to get the ball as a play trait as well. This is what we want. Right, so this is what they're saying then. So 4-2-3-1 for Southampton. Suggesting we tackle harder, maybe go a bit more positive than balanced. Couple of opposition instructions to look at, maybe. Let's just agree with them. If that's what the staff are saying, we will tackle harder as well. Here's how we're looking to line up then. 4-4-2. Tactic is quite solid. We're looking to pass into space though. That defensive line maybe needs to move up a smidge to keep that high press. We are sort of looking to soak a bit of pressure and then ping the ball up if we can do, but move that up to standard. Not sure. Let's keep it low for now. Gagliardini is going to go on the bench, we think. Lucadinha comes back in at left back. So at the minute, we've got Martinez in goal, we've got Digne at left wing back, we've got Matty Cash at right wing back as a complete wing back on attack, Konza and Mings centre halves, we've got Bailey, Buendia as our two wide players, McGinn and Douglas Luiz in the centre, Ollie Watkins up top as an advanced forward with Danny Ings just behind as a deep line forward, hopefully picking up some of those balls that are going to be played up towards him to let Ollie run off. And of course, if it doesn't work out, we've got Big Bio on the bench, so and we've also got Musa Barrow as well for an extra bit of pace. So that looks pretty decent, to be honest, for a starting 11. Okay, so here we go then. It's Monday Night Football under the lights at Villa Park. First time watching these players under my stewardship. Everyone else, of course, already played this weekend. So hopefully we can get a decent result, to be honest. Fingers crossed. We're, of course, in claret and blue. Southampton are in black. And it's Villa to kick off. McGinn charging forward straight away. Gives the ball to Douglas Luiz, who pings it up on the top, looking for Watkins, but intercepted. Ward-Prowse, deadly from those deliveries, isn't he? He's put it in, it's hit the post. That's an early warning sign for us. 6 minutes in, and I've already told Douglas Luiz, by the way, at the start, holding off on his tackle. He's already got a booking, so that's not... it's hit the post again. It's twice they've hit the post now. Okay, so here comes Digne. Gives the ball away. Walker-Peters. McGinn mops it back up, though, back to Mings. McGinn. Watkins. Here's Danny Ings. Danny Ings has a goal, but it's over the top. It's never coming down either, is it? Bazunu now launches it, intercepted by Digne. Watkins gets a head on it. McGinn out to Leon Bailey. Watkins rides the tackle from Ward-Prowse back to Mings. We are coming deep to get the ball, which means we have to then go back to the defenders and look to ping it back over the top. There's no one there, is there? There's McGinn though, straight at the keeper. Starting to come back into the game a little bit now. Let's move that defensive line up a smidge. Look at Digne now with a free kick, floats it up, headed away. Aribo out to Armstrong. He's got no one there though, thankfully. Digne picks up the loose ball. Cross to Konza. McGinn. Watkins. Danny Ings. Tackled by Diallo. Digne. We are winning the ball back quite well. Ball in for Watkins, and again, just straight at Bazunu. About half an hour played. We're looking decent enough so far. No one's really sort of creating too many clear-cut chances, I would say. Southampton with the ball now. Armstrong inside to Chan. Here's Douglas Luiz bursting through. Oh, he's got it from distance. I mean, that would be a worldie if he scores that. Half time, we're looking pretty decent. Mine 7 attempts, 2 on target, 3 attempts for Southampton, none for them on target. XG of 0.63 for us and 0.12 for Southampton. I guess that kind of says it all, doesn't it, really? Danny Ings has got a knock, so we're going to bring on Big Bio, and I think Gagliardini is going to come on for Douglas Luiz, because of course he's carrying that yellow card. And move that defensive line up just a smidge more as well, maybe, and sort of push in the second half. Show them we mean business, see if we can sort of like turn some of these shots into shots on target, or at least try and keep the pressure on Southampton, to be honest. Here's Mings now. McGinn. Digne. Robbed by Armstrong. Armstrong goes down the line, gets to the byline. Does he? Digne doesn't get it. Cut back. Chan cleared away. That's Bailey up to Watkins. Watkins holds the ball up. Lovely ball inside. Fortunately, Salisu picks it up. Buendia. Back to Matty Cash. Floats it up to the top for Bailey. Here's Watkins, Digne, McGinn. In for Bio. Bio through to Watkins. Watkins is through. Straight at Bazunu though. Good save. It's a corner. We are starting to look a bit more dangerous now, aren't we? We're coming into the game a little bit. Give a bit of encouragement. Buendia with the corner. Floats it in. It's headed, but it's an easy catch for Bazunu. Martinez, of course, picks the ball there for Villa. Drills it forward. Does a bit of a Bazunu. We don't get the second ball or the first ball. Ball's still. Do we get the third ball? No, we don't. Mings, wild swing. Brought Ashley Young on for Matty Cash. Digne's free kicks floated in. It's cleared away. Gets the ball again though. Mings, Gagliardini, McGinn. Good ball over the top. Maitland-Niles picks it up though. Digne gets it back. Leon Bailey pulls it in. To nobody. Whips it again. Still a nobody. Ball's cleared. Here's Gagliardini. Konza, can we keep the pressure on here? McGinn. Bio. Watkins. McGinn. Ball's played through. Watkins. Good save by Bazunu. This is more like it, Villa. This is much more like it. Buendia. Corner. Mings went for it. Cleared by Southampton. Keep the pressure on though. Corner kick again for Villa. Buendia. 64 minutes played. Cleared away. Mings. Gagliardini has an effort from outside the area. Flies wide and high though. Time maybe to bring Buendia off for Barrow. Maybe put Leon Bailey out on the right. Push Barrow up higher a little bit. Maybe sort of use his pace. Try and get him behind. Maybe go slightly more direct as well. Game's there for the taking now. 73 minutes in. We've had about 13 shots now and starting to creep up with shots on target as well. Here's Gagliardini. Back to Lucadinha. Ball's played in. Bazunu collects it comfortably though. Is he going to do what Bazunu does and ping it long? It's intercepted by Ashley Young. Bailey puts it back in. Cleared by Southampton. Gagliardini intercepts. He's putting a shift in, isn't he? Konza. Mings. Up over the top. Watkins nods it down. Bio. Watkins is through. Watkins is pulled down. That's a penalty. Shoot, that's a penalty. It's got to be, ref. 100% absolute Stonewalla. You don't even have to check. You don't have to check that at all, dear. That's a penalty. It is a penalty. Who's stepping up for it? Who's going to take it? It's going to be Leon Bailey. 1-0. 1-0 Villa. Probably one of the most unlikely sources of goal scorer I would have put. 15 minutes to go. Finally, all of our pressure has paid off. 15 shots. 8 on target now for Villa. This has been a great performance. Great performance for a first one of the season, although having said that, El Noazi whips the ball in there and Che Adams. Oof. Nearly conceded straight away, didn't we? Now as Walker Peters pings it over the bar. So win moves us up to 6th apparently. Nice clearance. There's Musa Barrow getting their header. Watkins tackled again. Bio wrestling there with Chan, I think it was. Adams, Lavia, Armstrong, Walker Peters, intercepted by Digne. Now here comes Musa Barrow. Watkins. 13 minutes left. Pull in the corner. Musa Barrow. Oh, outstanding play so far. XG now 2.2. We're just going to pull that defensive line back a smidge. Maybe go back to standard passing. Try and sort of like see this game out. But we're looking really good. Okay, now it looks like Southampton have gone to a 4-2-4. We're maybe going to work the ball into the box now. So again, we're just going to try and kill a bit of time. Be a bit more disciplined. Slow that tempo down. Shorter passing. A little bit of time wasting maybe. Literally getting into injury time now. Ward-Prowse, free kick. Oh, that was close. That was close. Like literally seconds now. Literally seconds. Martinez. Ball's up in the air. Chan up over the top. Che Adams. Oh, hit the bar. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. How? What on earth has gone on there? Chan's put the ball at the top. Mings can't get anywhere near it. It's Konza. Adams has gone for an insane chip. Hits the bar. Mings clears it. Armstrong clatters into Ashley Young. Ashley Young gets injured. And we've conceded. And we've dropped 2 points. Oh dear. This feels incredibly realistic. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We were dominating the game and then an absolute bit of madness at the end and it's finished 1-1. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at that. XG of 2.39, 17 shots, 8 on target. They've had 12 shots, 2 on target, including that absolute madness at the end. XG of 1.25. We've had most of the ball. We've had most of everything. But we share the points. Doesn't seem fair, really, does it? But then again, that's football. That's that then. That's episode 1 done. That's our first 2 points dropped. I'm not saying that's a point gain, that's 2 points dropped, isn't it, to be honest? I've got no idea how that goal goes in. Still, genuinely no idea at all. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please drop a like on it. Please subscribe to the channel. Please, of course, leave a comment below as well. I know these videos are going to be slightly longer than some of the stuff that's on the channel, but if you enjoy it, we'll keep making it. We'll probably do a mid-season roundup video and then definitely an end-of-season roundup as well. And maybe like another couple of seasons if we're enjoying the save. Obviously, it might go past the beta, but if you do enjoy it, as I say, please do drop a comment below. We'll be back very soon with another one. Stay safe. See you in a bit.